What they are doing to our sweet Trina Robinson is downright criminal. I am talking about a storyline so twisted, so incredibly dark, that it makes the old days of Caesar Faison look like child's play. If you ask me, the writers are taking Nina Reeves down a path of no return, and the devastation she is about to wreak on the canvas will leave us all completely breathless. Let us set the stage for this impending disaster, guys. Right now, Port Charles is a powder keg of deception and paranoia. We all know Nina Reeves has been spiraling completely out of control. Ever since she acted on pure, unadulterated panic and pushed Drew Kane into that lake, her entire world has been held together by a fragile thread. She has been desperately leaning on Jack Brennan, using his newly acquired blackmail evidence to force Drew into compliance. Nina is doing everything in her power to protect Willow Kane from the absolute wreckage of her own choices. Nina thinks she has finally secured the safety of her daughter and that the worst of the storm has passed. But that's not even the craziest part. The real bombshell drops in the lush, secluded corners of the Metro Court Gardens. Picture the scene, ladies. Trina Robinson, who is already dealing with the terrifying presence of a mysterious stalker and the heavy pressure of her new music career, is simply trying to find a quiet moment of peace. She is sitting silently, hidden behind those thick floral arrangements, when she accidentally overhears a hushed, frantic phone call between Nina Reeves and Jack Brennan. Trina hears absolutely everything. She hears the undeniable proof that Nina and Brennan are colluding to cover up the truth. She hears the desperate lengths Nina is going to in order to protect Willow's carefully constructed, saintly facade. And here is the jaw-dropping twist that sets everything into motion. Nina realizes she was not alone. Whether it is a snapped twig, a gasp, or a shadow moving in the sunlight, Nina knows that Trina heard the entire conversation. If you ask me, this is the exact moment Nina's maternal desperation mutates into something incredibly dangerous and predatory. She knows that Trina is a young woman of high moral character. Trina will not just sit quietly on this long-buried secret. She will run straight to Michael Corinthos, or worse, to Police Commissioner Anna Devane. Nina understands that if Trina speaks, the entire fragile house of cards connecting her, Brennan, and Willow will come crashing down in a spectacular wreck, devastation. But that's not even the craziest part. So, what does a cornered, terrified Nina Reeves do? She resorts to the absolute unthinkable. We are looking at a scenario where Nina actively plots to stalk and kidnap Trina Robinson before the young woman can breathe a single word of what she heard. Nina is certainly no stranger to keeping massive secrets. We all remember the Nixon Falls debacle with Sonny's amnesia, but kidnapping an innocent young woman is a terrifying escalation that crosses every single moral line. Nina plans to snatch Trina, lock her away in a secure, undisclosed location, and figure out a way to permanently silence her without causing physical harm. She genuinely believes she can control this narrative. However, you see, ladies, the situation is infinitely more complicated than a simple overheard phone call at the Metro Court. We have to look at the much bigger picture, specifically the involvement of Kai Taylor. Kai and Trina share a massive, explosive secret of their own that dwarfs the blackmail scheme. Let us rewind the clock to the dark, chaotic night Drew Kane was shot. According to the whispers I am hearing, both Trina and Kai were secretly present at Drew's house during that fateful moment. And they did not just hear a gunshot ring out in the night, they saw the shooter in the flesh. This is a bombshell that changes the entire landscape of Port Charles forever. They know with absolute, undeniable certainty that Willow Kane is the one who pulled the trigger and shot Drew. Willow has been parading around town as the perfect, saintly congresswoman, all while hiding the horrifying fact that she attempted to murder a man in cold blood. And somehow, in her frantic bid to cover her tracks, Nina discovers that Trina and Kai hold this ultimate damning truth. Nina realizes that silencing Trina about the Brennan phone call is only half the battle. But that's not even the craziest part. If Kai Taylor is left roaming free, he can still expose Willow as a cold-blooded shooter. Nina is now fighting a terrifying two-front war, and her panic is reaching a fever pitch. When Trina suddenly goes missing, Kai is not going to just sit back and wait for the PCPD to do their job. Kai knows exactly what Trina was investigating, and he knows the immense danger she is currently in. I firmly believe Kai will launch his own desperate underground investigation following the digital and physical breadcrumbs straight to wherever Nina is holding Trina hostage. Imagine the sheer, unadulterated terror when Kai bursts through the doors of that secret location, expecting to rescue his friend, only to find himself face to face with a completely unhinged Nina Reeves. Now Nina is trapped in a nightmare entirely of her own making. She started out trying to silence one girl, and now she is staring down a second, highly motivated witness who possesses the power to send her beloved daughter Willow to Pentonville for attempted murder. Nina is going to have to make a split-second, unthinkable decision that will define her character forever. If you ask me, Nina will double down on her dark turn. She will attempt to capture Kai as well, making him disappear right alongside Trina. She believes that if she can just keep them both locked away in the dark, the horrifying secret of Willow's dark crime will remain buried forever. She thinks she is protecting her family, acting as the ultimate shield for Willow. But Nina fails to realize that the more people she tries to silence, the louder the alarm bells ring across Port Charles. You cannot just make two prominent young adults vanish without triggering a massive earthquake. But that's not even the craziest part. The moment Trina and Kai vanish into thin air, the ripple effects will wreak devastation across the city. Let us talk about Michael Corinthos. Michael is already highly suspicious of the shifting dynamics around him and Willow's increasingly erratic behavior. When two people closely connected to their circle suddenly drop off the map, Michael's protective instincts are going to flare up. He knows Nina's history of deception better than anyone alive. He knows exactly what she is capable of when she feels her family is threatened. Michael will inevitably start connecting the dots, and his gaze is going to land squarely on his former mother-in-law. And we absolutely cannot forget about Police Commissioner Anna Devane. Anna is currently battling her own severe, terrifying demons, suffering from those vivid hallucinations of Peter August that are pushing her down a destructive path of revenge. But Anna's police instincts are still razor sharp. When she begins investigating the dual disappearance of Trina and Kai, she will immediately sense that this is tied to the ongoing chaos surrounding Drew Kane's shooting. Anna will look at the timeline, analyze the motives, and realize that the only person desperate enough to pull off a double kidnapping is Nina Reeves. The writers might try to throw us a curveball by using Trina's mysterious stalker as a red herring. The PCPD, and perhaps even a frantic Portia and Curtis, might initially believe that the stalker, perhaps Simon or Quinn, is responsible for snatching Trina. But those of us who have watched this show know how these twists work. The stalker is just a convenient smokescreen for Nina's sinister actions. Nina will likely use the stalker's existence to cover her own tracks, planting false clues to lead Anna and the police on a wild goose chase while she figures out what to do with her two hostages. The irony here is absolutely poetic, ladies. Nina thinks she is the mastermind, the apex predator protecting her young. But by trying to silence Trina and Kai, she is leaving a massive, glaring trail of breadcrumbs. Every single move she makes to cover up Willow's crime only exposes her further. She will quickly transition from the hunter to the hunted. Michael, Anna, and the entire Robinson family will be breathing down her neck, demanding answers. Nina will be cornered, forced to lie to the faces of the people she interacts with every single day, all while the clock ticks down on her hostages. Trina Robinson is no longer just an innocent bystander. She is the ultimate key to destroying Willow Kane's entire life. If Nina fails, Willow goes down for shooting Drew, and Nina goes down for kidnapping. The stakes have never been this astronomically high. We are watching a mother sacrifice her very soul, crossing lines she can never uncross, just to keep a long-buried secret in the dark. But as Nina stands outside that locked room, listening to Trina and Kai desperately pounding on the door, a chilling realization will wash over her. She cannot keep them forever, and the walls of Port Charles are rapidly closing in. Will Nina commit the ultimate sin to protect Willow, or will Trina finally break free and bring the whole Corinthos Reeves empire crashing down to the ground?